Have you ever woken up from a dream and felt like it was more than just your mind playing tricks? Maybe it lingered in your spirit, leaving you with a sense that God was trying to speak directly to you. What if I told you that some dreams are actually divine messages, dreams that carry guidance, confirmation, and even your God-given calling? That's right, God still speaks through dreams today, and many people are missing out because they don't know how to recognize them. Hit that subscribe button and stay connected to messages that honor Jesus Christ. Today, we're going to explore the top dreams that indicate God has called you. These dreams aren't just ordinary reflections of your day, they're prophetic signs that God is preparing you for a purpose bigger than you can imagine. From seeing ladders that reach heaven to hearing a whisper that changes everything, each dream is a spiritual blueprint, a message of destiny and divine alignment. So, if you've ever wondered whether God is speaking to you in your sleep, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize the dreams that matter, but also understand how to step boldly into the calling that God has placed on your life. Number 1, the ladder or stairway dream. Have you ever dreamed of a ladder stretching up into the heavens, or a stairway that seems to climb higher and higher without end? Perhaps in the dream, you find yourself stepping onto it, unsure of what awaits at the top, yet drawn by a force you cannot resist. The ladder or stairway dream is one of the most profound and significant dreams in the prophetic realm, and it often carries a message that God has called you to something greater than you can currently see. Many people overlook the spiritual significance of this dream because it appears so simple on the surface, but in the realm of dreams, simplicity is often the cloak of divine revelation. The ladder represents connection between heaven and earth, a bridge between the natural and the spiritual, and an invitation from God to ascend into the calling He has designed for your life. When you see a ladder in your dream, it is not merely an object. It is a symbol of divine opportunity, spiritual progression, and a call to rise above the limitations that may have held you back in your earthly journey. The first thing to understand about the ladder dream is that it speaks to your position in the spiritual realm. Life often feels like a series of steps, each one testing your faith, perseverance, and obedience. Just as a ladder requires you to place one foot in front of the other, the stairway dream encourages you to take deliberate steps toward God's purpose. Each rung you ascend represents growth, learning, and preparation for the next stage of your calling. Many people look at their current circumstances and feel discouraged, thinking that they are too small or too ordinary for God's attention. But the ladder dream is God's way of reminding you that He sees every step you take. Every effort, every act of faith, and every moment of obedience is being noticed and used by God to lift you higher. The dream reassures you that even if you feel stagnant, God has already placed a pathway before you that leads to destiny. Another important aspect of the ladder dream is that it often comes with a sense of divine order. In the natural, climbing a ladder can be daunting. It requires focus, balance, and courage. Spiritually, God is showing you that your journey requires the same intentionality. You cannot skip rungs or take shortcuts. Every stage of growth matters. If the dream leaves you with a sense of fear or hesitation, it is a reflection of the human struggle with stepping into the unknown. God does not call us to the heights without equipping us for every step. In many cases, the ladder dream appears during seasons of preparation. You may not yet see the full scope of your calling, but God is revealing that He has already set the path. Your task is to trust Him enough to climb, even when the next rung is not yet visible. The ladder or stairway dream can also signify access to revelation. In the Bible, we see Jacob's dream of a ladder reaching to heaven, with angels ascending and descending upon it. This vision was not only a promise of God's presence, but also a revelation of the spiritual realm at work in the world around him. Similarly, when you dream of a ladder today, it is often God's way of showing you that there is a higher perspective available to you, a divine insight that can only be accessed as you ascend in obedience and faith. You may have been praying for clarity, direction, or confirmation of your purpose, and the ladder dream is God's answer. It is a reminder that the kingdom of heaven is not distant. It is connected to your life, and God is inviting you to step into it. Many who experience the ladder dream also encounter a sense of urgency within the dream itself. There may be a feeling that time is short, or that the opportunity to climb will not last forever. This is God's gentle push, a prophetic call to action. He is reminding you that your calling is not something to delay or take lightly. Life is fleeting, and the spiritual assignments that God has for you require immediate response. If you have ever ignored or dismissed a dream in the past, the ladder dream often comes as a wake-up call. It encourages you to recognize that your steps have eternal significance. Every rung climbed in obedience, every step taken in faith, brings you closer to the destiny God has ordained. The ladder dream also emphasizes the importance of focus. When you climb a ladder, you cannot afford to be distracted by what is below or around you. Your eyes must be fixed on the top, and your attention must be on each step. Spiritually, this translates to unwavering focus on God's direction for your life. It is easy to become discouraged by obstacles, comparisons, or delays. But the ladder dream is a reminder that your calling is uniquely yours. The journey may be long and the climb may be steep, but God's hand is guiding you with perfect wisdom. The dream encourages persistence, determination, and a willingness to rise above doubt and fear. It tells you that the heights you are meant to reach are not only possible, but inevitable if you remain steadfast. In addition to personal growth, the ladder or stairway dream often speaks to influence and impact. As you ascend spiritually, you gain a perspective that allows you to minister, lead, and guide others. The ladder is not just a symbol of personal elevation, it is a representation of the divine call to bring others along with you. Those who are called often find that their journey uplifts and inspires those around them. The angels in Jacob's dream remind us that spiritual work is never isolated. God's purpose is interconnected. The climb you are on may be preparing you to impact your family, community, or even nations. Each step upward brings not only personal blessings, but also opportunities to release God's presence and favor into the lives of others. Sometimes the ladder dream comes with a warning. A ladder that appears unstable, broken, or difficult to climb may symbolize spiritual challenges or personal obstacles. God is revealing that the climb will require diligence, faith, and preparation. These dreams are not meant to discourage, but to equip. They call you to strengthen your spiritual disciplines, prayer life, and alignment with God's word. They remind you that while the ladder leads to destiny, the journey is intentional. You must prepare for each step. A broken rung may represent a past wound, fear, or limitation that needs to be addressed before you can move forward. God does not leave you stranded. He gives insight through dreams so that you can rise above and continue toward your calling with confidence. The experience of ascending a ladder in a dream is often accompanied by a feeling of anticipation or awe. There is a sense of entering a sacred space, a place where God's presence is palpable. This emotional response is significant because it mirrors the spiritual reality of being in alignment with your calling. God wants you to experience joy, wonder, and peace as you move closer to the purpose He has designed. The dream reinforces that your calling is not meant to be burdensome. It is meant to elevate, inspire, and fulfill the deepest longings of your heart. The stairway is a symbol of hope, promise and the certainty that God's plan for your life is unfolding according to His timing. The ladder or stairway dream may repeat at different seasons of your life, each time revealing new levels of understanding and growth. Sometimes you may see yourself at the bottom, looking up with hesitation, and other times you may find yourself near the top, realizing the fullness of God's plan. Each repetition is a divine lesson, encouraging you to trust the process, embrace the climb, and understand that God is with you every step of the way. The dream teaches patience, endurance, and faithfulness, reminding you that every season, every step, and every trial is preparing you for the heights of your destiny. Finally, the ladder dream is a call to action. God is inviting you to step into your purpose with courage, confidence, and obedience. He is reminding you that your life is meant for more than the ordinary. There is a spiritual pathway laid out for you, a divine trajectory that will elevate you, equip you, and allow you to fulfill your calling in ways that exceed your imagination. When you see a ladder or stairway in your dream, recognize it as a prophetic sign. Pay attention to the emotions, the details, and the sense of movement within the dream. These elements are God's way of communicating direction, encouragement, and confirmation. Climb faithfully, step by step, knowing that each rung is divinely designed and that the God who called you will bring you to the heights He has promised. The ladder or stairway dream is not just a dream. It is an invitation, a message, and a confirmation of your calling. It reminds you that your journey is significant, that your steps matter, and that God is orchestrating every detail of your ascent. Embrace the dream, trust the process, and know that the ladder you see is the path to the extraordinary destiny God has prepared for your life. Number 2, the river or flowing water dream. Have you ever dreamed of a river, a stream, or water flowing endlessly before you and felt a deep stirring in your spirit? Perhaps the water was clear and peaceful, or maybe it rushed with unstoppable force, carrying a sense of power and purpose. The river or flowing water dream is one of the most spiritually rich dreams, and it often signals that God is moving in your life in a way that is far beyond what your natural eyes can see. Water in dreams is more than just a natural element. It represents life, abundance, cleansing, and the presence of God. When you encounter flowing water in a dream, it is often a prophetic sign that God is calling you into a season of renewal, provision, and spiritual growth. Many people overlook these dreams because they focus only on the natural image. But in the spiritual realm, water carries messages of destiny, direction, and divine favor. The river is not stationary. It moves with intention and purpose, reminding you that God's plans for your life are active, dynamic, and constantly unfolding. One of the most powerful aspects of the river dream is its connection to God's provision. In the natural world, rivers provide water for life, nourishment for the land, and a path for movement. Spiritually, seeing a river in your dream signals that God is providing for every area of your life. It may be financial provision, emotional healing, or spiritual empowerment. The flow of water represents abundance, and the dream is a reminder that God is the source of all blessing. Even if your current circumstances feel dry, stagnant, or uncertain, the dream is a message of hope. The river is moving, and it carries with it the resources, opportunities, and favor you need to step into your calling. God is reminding you that His supply is never limited, and that when you align with His timing, your life will be flooded with blessings that overflow into every area. Another important element of the river dream is its association with transformation. Water has the power to shape landscapes, smooth stones, and nourish growth. Similarly, flowing water in dreams often signifies that God is working to transform your life. He may be cleansing you from past hurts, purifying your heart, or preparing you for a higher level of spiritual maturity. The dream encourages you to embrace change and allow the current of God's Spirit to guide you. Just as a river moves naturally, so too must you allow God to lead you. Resisting the flow can create stagnation, but surrendering to it brings renewal, growth, and a deeper intimacy with Him. Many who have recurring river dreams report a sense of spiritual refreshment after paying attention to the messages within them. The dream is a reminder that God is not only present, but actively involved in shaping your destiny. The river or flowing water dream also speaks to direction and guidance. Rivers follow a path, winding through valleys, over rocks, and around obstacles. In the same way, God's calling in your life has a pathway designed for you. The dream may be revealing that even though the journey may seem winding or uncertain, there is divine guidance at work. Each bend and current represents movement toward your purpose. If you see yourself navigating the water, it may indicate that you are learning to move in alignment with God's direction. If the water is turbulent or rushing, it may signify challenges ahead. But the dream reassures you that God's presence and power are sufficient to carry you through. The river reminds you that life is not static, and that every experience, every twist, and every turn is part of a greater plan orchestrated by God for your growth and fulfillment. Flowing water in dreams is also a symbol of emotional and spiritual depth. The river reflects the inner life, your thoughts, feelings, and spiritual state. Clear, calm water indicates peace, clarity, and alignment with God, while murky or turbulent water may signify unresolved issues, fears, or areas where healing is needed. God often uses the river dream to encourage reflection and self-examination. It is an invitation to dive deeper into your own heart, to release what no longer serves you, and to allow His Spirit to bring clarity and purification. This dream reassures you that even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming, God's presence is constant, flowing into your soul to bring peace, understanding, and direction. The water carries His voice, often speaking where words cannot reach, and reminding you that His Spirit is alive and active within you. The river dream often comes with a sense of movement or progress. Unlike a still pond, a river flows forward, symbolizing advancement in your spiritual, emotional, and personal life. God may be telling you that you are entering a season of acceleration, where opportunities and breakthroughs will come in rapid succession. The dream encourages you to be ready, to move with faith, and to position yourself to receive what God has prepared. Many people experience this dream during times of waiting. Have you ever woken up from a dream and felt like it was more than just your mind playing tricks? Maybe it lingered in your spirit, leaving you with a sense that God was trying to speak directly to you. What if I told you that some dreams are actually divine messages, dreams that carry guidance, confirmation, and even your God-given calling? That's right, God still speaks through dreams today, and many people are missing out because they don't know how to recognize them. Hit that subscribe button and stay connected to messages that honor Jesus Christ. Today, we're going to explore the top dreams that indicate God has called you. These dreams aren't just ordinary reflections of your day, they're prophetic signs that God is preparing you for a purpose bigger than you can imagine. From seeing ladders that reach heaven to hearing a whisper that changes everything, each dream is a spiritual blueprint, a message of destiny and divine alignment. So, if you've ever wondered whether God is speaking to you in your sleep, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize the dreams that matter, but also understand how to step boldly into the calling that God has placed on your life. Number 1, the ladder or stairway dream. Have you ever dreamed of a ladder stretching up into the heavens, or a stairway that seems to climb higher and higher without end? Perhaps in the dream, you find yourself stepping onto it, unsure of what awaits at the top, yet drawn by a force you cannot resist. The ladder or stairway dream is one of the most profound and significant dreams in the prophetic realm, and it often carries a message that God has called you to something greater than you can currently see. Many people overlook the spiritual significance of this dream because it appears so simple on the surface, but in the realm of dreams, simplicity is often the cloak of divine revelation. The ladder represents connection between heaven and earth, a bridge between the natural and the spiritual, and an invitation from God to ascend into the calling He has designed for your life. When you see a ladder in your dream, it is not merely an object. It is a symbol of divine opportunity, spiritual progression, and a call to rise above the limitations that may have held you back in your earthly journey. The first thing to understand about the ladder dream is that it speaks to your position in the spiritual realm. Life often feels like a series of steps, each one testing your faith, perseverance, and obedience. Just as a ladder requires you to place one foot in front of the other, the stairway dream encourages you to take deliberate steps toward God's purpose. Each rung you ascend represents growth, learning, and preparation for the next stage of your calling. Many people look at their current circumstances and feel discouraged, thinking that they are too small or too ordinary for God's attention. But the ladder dream is God's way of reminding you that He sees every step you take. Every effort, every act of faith, and every moment of obedience is being noticed and used by God to lift you higher. The dream reassures you that even if you feel stagnant, God has already placed a pathway before you that leads to destiny. Another important aspect of the ladder dream is that it often comes with a sense of divine order. In the natural, climbing a ladder can be daunting. It requires focus, balance, and courage. Spiritually, God is showing you that your journey requires the same intentionality. You cannot skip rungs or take shortcuts. Every stage of growth matters. If the dream leaves you with a sense of fear or hesitation, it is a reflection of the human struggle with stepping into the unknown. God does not call us to the heights without equipping us for every step. In many cases, the ladder dream appears during seasons of preparation. You may not yet see the full scope of your calling, but God is revealing that He has already set the path. Your task is to trust Him enough to climb, even when the next rung is not yet visible. The ladder or stairway dream can also signify access to revelation. In the Bible, we see Jacob's dream of a ladder reaching to heaven, with angels ascending and descending upon it. This vision was not only a promise of God's presence, but also a revelation of the spiritual realm at work in the world around him. Similarly, when you dream of a ladder today, it is often God's way of showing you that there is a higher perspective available to you, a divine insight that can only be accessed as you ascend in obedience and faith. You may have been praying for clarity, direction, or confirmation of your purpose, and the ladder dream is God's answer. It is a reminder that the kingdom of heaven is not distant. It is connected to your life, and God is inviting you to step into it. Many who experience the ladder dream also encounter a sense of urgency within the dream itself. There may be a feeling that time is short, or that the opportunity to climb will not last forever. This is God's gentle push, a prophetic call to action. He is reminding you that your calling is not something to delay or take lightly. Life is fleeting, and the spiritual assignments that God has for you require immediate response. If you have ever ignored or dismissed a dream in the past, the ladder dream often comes as a wake-up call. It encourages you to recognize that your steps have eternal significance. Every rung climbed in obedience, every step taken in faith, brings you closer to the destiny God has ordained. The ladder dream also emphasizes the importance of focus. When you climb a ladder, you cannot afford to be distracted by what is below or around you. Your eyes must be fixed on the top, and your attention must be on each step. Spiritually, this translates to unwavering focus on God's direction for your life. It is easy to become discouraged by obstacles, comparisons, or delays. But the ladder dream is a reminder that your calling is uniquely yours. The journey may be long and the climb may be steep, but God's hand is guiding you with perfect wisdom. The dream encourages persistence, determination, and a willingness to rise above doubt and fear. It tells you that the heights you are meant to reach are not only possible, but inevitable if you remain steadfast. In addition to personal growth, the ladder or stairway dream often speaks to influence and impact. As you ascend spiritually, you gain a perspective that allows you to minister, lead, and guide others. The ladder is not just a symbol of personal elevation, it is a representation of the divine call to bring others along with you. Those who are called often find that their journey uplifts and inspires those around them. The angels in Jacob's dream remind us that spiritual work is never isolated. God's purpose is interconnected. The climb you are on may be preparing you to impact your family, community, or even nations. Each step upward brings not only personal blessings, but also opportunities to release God's presence and favor into the lives of others. Sometimes the ladder dream comes with a warning. A ladder that appears unstable, broken, or difficult to climb may symbolize spiritual challenges or personal obstacles. God is revealing that the climb will require diligence, faith, and preparation. These dreams are not meant to discourage, but to equip. They call you to strengthen your spiritual disciplines, prayer life, and alignment with God's word. They remind you that while the ladder leads to destiny, the journey is intentional. You must prepare for each step. A broken rung may represent a past wound, fear, or limitation that needs to be addressed before you can move forward. God does not leave you stranded. He gives insight through dreams so that you can rise above and continue toward your calling with confidence. The experience of ascending a ladder in a dream is often accompanied by a feeling of anticipation or awe. There is a sense of entering a sacred space, a place where God's presence is palpable. This emotional response is significant because it mirrors the spiritual reality of being in alignment with your calling. God wants you to experience joy, wonder, and peace as you move closer to the purpose He has designed. The dream reinforces that your calling is not meant to be burdensome. It is meant to elevate, inspire, and fulfill the deepest longings of your heart. The stairway is a symbol of hope, promise, and the certainty that God's plan for your life is unfolding according to His timing. The ladder or stairway dream may repeat at different seasons of your life, each time revealing new levels of understanding and growth. Sometimes you may see yourself at the bottom, looking up with hesitation, and other times you may find yourself near the top, realizing the fullness of God's plan. Each repetition is a divine lesson, encouraging you to trust the process, embrace the climb, and understand that God is with you every step of the way. The dream teaches patience, endurance, and faithfulness, reminding you that every season, every step, and every trial is preparing you for the heights of your destiny. Finally, the ladder dream is a call to action. God is inviting you to step into your purpose with courage, confidence, and obedience. He is reminding you that your life is meant for more than the ordinary. There is a spiritual pathway laid out for you, a divine trajectory that will elevate you, equip you, and allow you to fulfill your calling in ways that exceed your imagination. When you see a ladder or stairway in your dream, recognize it as a prophetic sign. Pay attention to the emotions, the details, and the sense of movement within the dream. These elements are God's way of communicating direction, encouragement, and confirmation. Climb faithfully, step by step, knowing that each rung is divinely designed and that the God who called you will bring you to the heights He has promised. The ladder or stairway dream is not just a dream. It is an invitation, a message, and a confirmation of your calling. It reminds you that your journey is significant, that your steps matter, and that God is orchestrating every detail of your ascent. Embrace the dream, trust the process, and know that the ladder you see is the path to the extraordinary destiny God has prepared for your life. Number 2, the river or flowing water dream. Have you ever dreamed of a river, a stream, or water flowing endlessly before you and felt a deep stirring in your spirit? Perhaps the water was clear and peaceful, or maybe it rushed with unstoppable force, carrying a sense of power and purpose. The river or flowing water dream is one of the most spiritually rich dreams, and it often signals that God is moving in your life in a way that is far beyond what your natural eyes can see. Water in dreams is more than just a natural element. It represents life, abundance, cleansing, and the presence of God. When you encounter flowing water in a dream, it is often a prophetic sign that God is calling you into a season of renewal, provision, and spiritual growth. Many people overlook these dreams because they focus only on the natural image. But in the spiritual realm, water carries messages of destiny, direction, and divine favor. The river is not stationary. It moves with intention and purpose, reminding you that God's plans for your life are active, dynamic, and constantly unfolding. One of the most powerful aspects of the river dream is its connection to God's provision. In the natural world, rivers provide water for life, nourishment for the land, and a path for movement. Spiritually, seeing a river in your dream signals that God is providing for every area of your life. It may be financial provision, emotional healing, or spiritual empowerment. The flow of water represents abundance, and the dream is a reminder that God is the source of all blessing. Even if your current circumstances feel dry, stagnant, or uncertain, the dream is a message of hope. The river is moving, and it carries with it the resources, opportunities, and favor you need to step into your calling. God is reminding you that His supply is never limited, and that when you align with His timing, your life will be flooded with blessings that overflow into every area. Another important element of the river dream is its association with transformation. Water has the power to shape landscapes, smooth stones, and nourish growth. Similarly, flowing water in dreams often signifies that God is working to transform your life. He may be cleansing you from past hurts, purifying your heart, or preparing you for a higher level of spiritual maturity. The dream encourages you to embrace change and allow the current of God's Spirit to guide you. Just as a river moves naturally, so too must you allow God to lead you. Resisting the flow can create stagnation, but surrendering to it brings renewal, growth, and a deeper intimacy with Him. Many who have recurring river dreams report a sense of spiritual refreshment after paying attention to the messages within them. The dream is a reminder that God is not only present, but actively involved in shaping your destiny. The river or flowing water dream also speaks to direction and guidance. Rivers follow a path, winding through valleys, over rocks, and around obstacles. In the same way, God's calling in your life has a pathway designed for you. The dream may be revealing that even though the journey may seem winding or uncertain, there is divine guidance at work. Each bend and current represents movement toward your purpose. If you see yourself navigating the water, it may indicate that you are learning to move in alignment with God's direction. If the water is turbulent or rushing, it may signify challenges ahead. But the dream reassures you that God's presence and power are sufficient to carry you through. The river reminds you that life is not static, and that every experience, every twist, and every turn is part of a greater plan orchestrated by God for your growth and fulfillment. Flowing water in dreams is also a symbol of emotional and spiritual depth. The river reflects the inner life, your thoughts, feelings, and spiritual state. Clear, calm water indicates peace, clarity, and alignment with God, while murky or turbulent water may signify unresolved issues, fears, or areas where healing is needed. God often uses the river dream to encourage reflection and self-examination. It is an invitation to dive deeper into your own heart, to release what no longer serves you, and to allow His Spirit to bring clarity and purification. This dream reassures you that even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming, God's presence is constant, flowing into your soul to bring peace, understanding, and direction. The water carries His voice, often speaking where words cannot reach, and reminding you that His Spirit is alive and active within you. The river dream often comes with a sense of movement or progress. Unlike a still pond, a river flows forward, symbolizing advancement in your spiritual, emotional, and personal life. God may be telling you that you are entering a season of acceleration, where opportunities and breakthroughs will come in rapid succession. The dream encourages you to be ready, to move with faith, and to position yourself to receive what God has prepared. Many people experience this dream during times of waiting, when it feels like nothing is happening. The river reminds you that God's timing is perfect, and that even when the water seems slow or distant, it is moving invisibly beneath the surface, preparing you for the moment when your breakthrough will appear. Trusting the flow and staying aligned with God's Spirit ensures that you will navigate the river successfully and arrive at the place of your calling fully equipped. Water in dreams is also strongly associated with cleansing and healing. The river may represent God's desire to wash away past mistakes, pain, or spiritual burdens. Stepping into the water can be a prophetic act of surrender, indicating your willingness to allow God to cleanse and restore you. The flowing nature of the river emphasizes that God's healing is continuous. It is not a one-time event, but a journey of restoration and renewal. As you embrace the symbolism of the river, you are invited to release bitterness, fear, and doubt, allowing God's Spirit to refresh every area of your life. The dream reassures you that His healing power is active, flowing, and available for every part of your being. Another key dimension of the river dream is its representation of influence and impact. Just as a river nourishes the land through which it flows, so too are you called to bring life, encouragement, and blessing to those around you. Your calling is not meant to be isolated. God's presence flowing through you is designed to touch the lives of others, to bring hope, guidance, and transformation. The dream often appears when God is preparing you to step into a leadership or ministry role, reminding you that your influence will extend beyond yourself. Each ripple in the water symbolizes the effects of your obedience, faith, and alignment with God's calling. Your life, like the river, has a purpose that spreads outward, impacting communities, families, and generations. The river dream can also carry prophetic warnings or guidance. If the water is dark, flooded, or turbulent, it may indicate spiritual challenges, unresolved emotions, or obstacles in your path. God is revealing that while the flow of His Spirit is powerful, there may be areas in your life that need attention. These dreams are not meant to frighten, but to prepare you. They remind you to seek God's wisdom, discernment, and guidance as you navigate your journey. Sometimes the dream encourages you to step out in faith despite the challenges, trusting that God's power is greater than any obstacle. The river teaches resilience, perseverance, and trust, showing you that even in the midst of difficulty, the flow of God's Spirit can carry you forward into your destiny. Experiencing a river dream often comes with an emotional or spiritual awakening. Many who have this dream report a sense of hope, renewal, and inspiration upon waking. It awakens a recognition that God is actively working in their lives, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. The river reminds you that life is dynamic, that movement is essential, and that God's Spirit is never stagnant. You are being called to align with His flow, to trust the process, and to embrace the abundant life that He is offering. The dream is a reminder that your spiritual journey is not a series of isolated moments, but a continuous, living experience with God. The flowing water dream also emphasizes the importance of faith and trust. Rivers often move without a clear end in sight, and yet they reach their destination. Spiritually, this mirrors the journey of faith. You may not see the full path ahead, but God is guiding you with precision. The dream encourages you to step forward with confidence, knowing that every bend, rapid, and calm stretch is part of the divine plan. Just as water cannot stop flowing, God's purposes cannot be thwarted. Your trust in His guidance ensures that you will navigate every challenge, obstacle, and uncertainty with peace and assurance. Finally, the river dream is an invitation to embrace the fullness of God's presence. It is a call to immerse yourself in His Spirit, to allow His life-giving flow to permeate every area of your being. Whether it is in your personal life, your calling, or your relationships, God's presence is actively moving to bring growth, provision, and transformation. The dream reassures you that you are not alone, that His Spirit is with you, guiding you, and preparing you for every step of your journey. Flow with Him, trust His timing, and allow the river to carry you into the destiny He has designed. The river or flowing water dream is not just a vision. It is a message, a confirmation, and a prophetic sign. It reminds you that God's presence is active, His provision is abundant, and His calling is unfolding in your life. Embrace the dream, step into the flow, and allow the Spirit of God to guide you into the fullness of your purpose. The water is moving, the path is set. Trust the journey and let God carry you to the place of your destiny. Number 3, the open door dream. Have you ever dreamed of a door opening before you, wide and inviting, as though it was calling you to step through into a place you have never been? Perhaps the door appeared in a familiar setting, or maybe it was in a location that felt completely foreign. The open door dream is one of the most significant prophetic dreams, carrying a clear message that God is presenting opportunities, calling, and divine alignment in your life. Doors in dreams symbolize access, opportunity, transition, and revelation. When a door opens before you, it is not a coincidence. It is a spiritual signal that God is inviting you to enter a new season, to step into a purpose, or to embrace a calling that is far greater than what you have experienced. Many people miss the significance of this dream because they focus on the door itself rather than what lies beyond it. The open door is never about limitation. It is about invitation. It is a threshold between the familiar and the extraordinary, between the ordinary and the divine. When you dream of a door opening, God is essentially whispering to your spirit, saying, "Step forward, I have something prepared for you, and your life is about to shift." One of the most powerful aspects of the open door dream is its connection to opportunity. In life, doors open in various ways, through relationships, employment, ministry, or divine favor. Spiritually, an open door in a dream represents God's provision and His timing. It may signal that a season of waiting is ending and a season of action is beginning. The open door invites you to step boldly, to move forward in faith, and to recognize that divine favor has aligned circumstances on your behalf. Many who experience this dream report a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something extraordinary is about to unfold. This is no accident. The dream serves as a prophetic sign, a divine confirmation that your next steps are not random, but part of a larger, purposeful plan orchestrated by God. It calls you to embrace courage and to step into the unknown, knowing that the open door leads to blessing, growth, and spiritual fulfillment. The open door dream is also deeply symbolic of transition. Life is composed of seasons, each carrying its own challenges, lessons, and opportunities. Sometimes you may feel stuck, uncertain, or frustrated with your current circumstances. The dream of an open door is a spiritual signal that a transition is imminent. God is inviting you to move from one phase of life into another, from limitation into possibility, from waiting into action. The door represents not only opportunity, but also permission to leave the past behind. As you approach it in your dream, you may feel hesitation, fear, or uncertainty. These feelings are natural. Transition often requires faith, courage, and trust. The open door is God's way of assuring you that He has prepared the way and that every step taken through the threshold is guided by His hand. It is an invitation to trust in His timing and to recognize that He is orchestrating the details of your journey. Another critical dimension of the open door dream is revelation. Doors often symbolize access to knowledge, insight, and divine understanding. When a door opens in a dream, it may indicate that God is revealing new truths to you, showing you aspects of your purpose that were previously hidden. This could be insight into your calling, confirmation of your destiny, or clarity about decisions you need to make. The dream reminds you that God is not only calling you to step forward, but is also equipping you with wisdom, discernment, and understanding for the journey ahead. Just as an open door allows light to enter a dark room, God's revelation illuminates areas of your life that may have been unclear. The dream encourages you to pay attention, to listen to the Spirit, and to step confidently into the knowledge and insight that God is providing. It is a reminder that divine revelation is always accompanied by opportunity, and that clarity and direction are available when you align with His Spirit. The open door dream often carries a sense of invitation and favor. In the natural, an open door may represent a welcome, acceptance, or recognition. Spiritually, it is a sign that God has opened the way for you in a manner that is aligned with His purposes. This may manifest in relationships, career, ministry, or personal growth. The dream encourages you to recognize that favor is already at work in your life. The door is open, not because of your strength or effort alone, but because God's hand has cleared the path. Many who receive this dream feel a sense of peace, reassurance, or even excitement, signaling that God's blessing is imminent. It is a prophetic confirmation that you are not walking alone. Every opportunity, every breakthrough, and every divine alignment is the result of God's preparation, and the open door serves as a reminder to step forward with confidence. The open door dream also emphasizes the importance of obedience and response. A door that is open requires action. You can choose to step through it, linger in hesitation, or walk away. Spiritually, the dream is an invitation to respond to God's calling with faith. It is not enough to recognize the opportunity, you must also act. Many people fail to move forward because fear, doubt, or uncertainty holds them back. The dream encourages courage and decisiveness. God has positioned the door before you, and He is ready to lead you into new territory. Stepping through the door may require leaving comfort zones, trusting Him in unfamiliar circumstances, or embracing change. The dream reminds you that God's favor is released in response to faith-filled action. Your willingness to enter is a demonstration of trust, and it positions you to receive all that God has prepared. Another important aspect of the open door dream is its association with destiny and divine calling. Doors in dreams are rarely random. They often represent paths that God has designed specifically for your life. When you see an open door, it may signify that you are entering a season where your God-given purpose will begin to unfold in tangible ways. It may be a time of influence, ministry, leadership, or personal breakthrough. The dream serves as a prophetic marker, signaling that you are ready to move into a higher level of calling. Every detail of the dream, from the size and appearance of the door to the feelings it evokes, carries spiritual significance. God often uses these dreams to confirm decisions, provide encouragement, and reveal aspects of your destiny that require faith to access. The open door dream also carries a sense of divine protection. In many cases, the door appears in a secure or safe setting, signaling that God's presence accompanies you as you step forward. This is a reminder that while opportunities and transitions may carry uncertainty, you are not entering alone. God's Spirit is guiding, protecting, and equipping you for every step of the journey. The dream reassures you that every door He opens is aligned with His will, and that walking through it will not lead to harm, but to blessing. It is a reminder to trust the process, even when the path is unfamiliar or intimidating. God's favor, presence, and guidance are already at work, ensuring that your steps are ordered according to His plan. Sometimes, the open door dream comes with a sense of urgency. You may feel that the door is opening and closing quickly, or that there is a moment that must be seized. Spiritually, this is a call to recognize the importance of timing. God often opens doors for specific seasons, and while His grace is abundant, opportunities may require immediate response. Hesitation can result in missed blessings, but obedience and faith position you to receive all that God has prepared. The dream encourages attentiveness to the Spirit, readiness to act, and discernment regarding timing. God is reminding you that the open door is not just an opportunity, but a sacred assignment, and that the response you give will determine how fully His plan is manifested in your life. The dream of an open door may also reveal areas of your life that require preparation. If the door appears distant, guarded, or partially obstructed, it may signify that certain spiritual disciplines, emotional healing, or personal development are needed before you can fully step through. God uses the dream to call your attention to readiness, alignment, and purification. The pathway is open, but you are encouraged to approach it with intentionality, reflection, and prayer. Just as an open door provides access, it also invites discernment. Every step you take through the threshold must be guided by faith and obedience. The dream reassures you that preparation is part of God's design, and that every moment of readiness strengthens your position to receive what lies ahead. The open door dream is often accompanied by feelings of anticipation, joy, or peace. These emotions are indicators that the door is divinely appointed and aligned with God's will. The dream is not meant to create anxiety or fear, but to inspire confidence, hope, and courage. God is revealing His favor, His calling, and His provision. As you reflect on the dream, you may sense clarity about decisions, direction, or opportunities that were previously uncertain. The open door reminds you that God's timing is perfect, that His plans are good, and that His Spirit is actively working to guide, protect, and equip you for every step of your journey. Finally, the open door dream is a prophetic call to action, faith, and trust. It is a divine signal that your life is entering a season of opportunity, transition, and revelation. God is inviting you to step forward, to embrace the calling He has prepared, and to trust that His Spirit will guide and sustain you. The dream reassures you that His favor is active, His presence is with you, and His plan for your life is unfolding according to perfect timing. Every open door in your dream is a reminder that God sees your heart, knows your potential, and is ready to lead you into the fullness of your destiny. The open door dream is not just a vision. It is a message, an invitation, and a prophetic sign. It reminds you that God is actively moving in your life, that His calling is certain, and that His provision is abundant. Embrace the dream, step through the threshold with faith, and allow the Spirit of God to guide you into the opportunities, blessings, and purpose He has prepared. The door is open, the path is set, and your journey into divine alignment is ready to begin. Number 4. The angelic encounter, dream. Have you ever woken from a dream with a sense of awe, wonder, or even reverence, as though you had glimpsed a presence far greater than yourself? Perhaps you saw a figure of light, heard a voice that was gentle yet commanding, or felt a warmth and peace that words cannot describe. The angelic encounter dream is one of the most profound prophetic dreams, carrying messages of guidance, protection, and confirmation from God. Angels in dreams are not simply figments of imagination. They are messengers, spiritual beings sent to deliver insight, encouragement, and direction directly from the throne of God. When you experience an angelic encounter in your dream, it is a signal that God is actively intervening in your life, communicating with you in a way that transcends the natural. Many people overlook these dreams, dismissing them as fantasy or coincidence, yet they are often pivotal moments of revelation, preparing you for a season of spiritual awakening, breakthrough, and destiny. Angels are portrayed in Scripture as ministers to those called by God, and their appearance in dreams carries a weight of authority, purpose, and divine timing. One of the most significant aspects of the angelic encounter dream is the message of guidance it carries. Angels are often sent to reveal God's direction, to illuminate paths that may seem unclear, and to confirm decisions that align with divine will. In the dream, you may see an angel pointing the way, speaking instructions, or simply standing near as a symbol of God's presence. This is not merely symbolic. Spiritually, it is a reminder that God is actively guiding you, and that His plans are unfolding in ways that require attention, discernment, and obedience. Many who receive this dream report a sense of clarity upon waking, as though a weight has been lifted from their shoulders. The angelic presence reassures you that you are not alone in your journey, and that God's wisdom is accessible to you through the messages He sends. The dream encourages you to listen attentively to the Spirit, to trust the impressions, feelings, or words that arise, and to act with faith based on the divine insight provided. Angelic encounter dreams often signify protection. In the natural world, life is filled with challenges, uncertainty, and unseen obstacles. Spiritually, the presence of an angel in a dream is a reassurance that God's hand is over you. You are being watched, guarded, and preserved from harm. The dream may reveal areas where you are vulnerable or facing spiritual attack, and the angel's presence communicates that God is intervening on your behalf. Many who experience these dreams wake with a profound sense of safety, comfort, and confidence, knowing that divine protection is active in their lives. It is a reminder that no matter the circumstances, God is sovereign. His angels are assigned to minister to those who are called, and His plans cannot be thwarted. The dream encourages you to move forward with boldness, trusting that His Spirit and heavenly agents are working in ways that may be invisible but are fully effective. Another key dimension of the angelic encounter dream is the confirmation it provides. Many people struggle with doubt, uncertainty, or hesitation when it comes to recognizing God's calling or the direction of their lives. Seeing an angel in a dream often functions as a confirmation that you are on the right path. The angel may appear with a message of encouragement, a sign of favor, or a symbolic gesture that reassures you of God's approval. This confirmation is vital because it strengthens faith, provides courage, and affirms your alignment with divine purpose. Dreams of this nature are often accompanied by a sense of awe, reverence, or even weightiness, signaling that God is speaking directly to your spirit. The dream reminds you that God sees your heart, knows your intentions, and is actively directing your steps. It encourages you to move forward without fear, knowing that your journey is supported by heavenly forces and aligned with His perfect plan. Angelic encounter dreams can also bring prophetic insight. Angels are messengers, and their appearance often precedes revelation that impacts your future. The dream may include visual signs, spoken words, or symbolic gestures that carry spiritual meaning. You may receive insight into a decision, clarity about a relationship, or understanding regarding a calling or assignment. These dreams require attentiveness and discernment, as angels often communicate in ways that transcend ordinary language. God may be using the dream to prepare you for a challenge, to reveal a hidden truth, or to confirm an opportunity. The prophetic nature of the dream is meant to awaken your spiritual sensitivity, to heighten your awareness of God's presence, and to encourage you to respond in faith. Many who experience angelic dreams find that they become more attuned to spiritual realities, more confident in their decisions, and more aligned with God's will for their lives. The angelic encounter dream often carries a sense of peace and reassurance. Angels are associated with the presence of God, and their appearance in dreams communicates comfort, encouragement, and calm. You may feel a warmth, a glow, or a sense of tranquility that lingers long after you awaken. This emotional response is significant because it reflects the spiritual reality of God's nearness. Life can be overwhelming, filled with stress, pressure, and uncertainty. Yet the dream reminds you that you are not alone. God is present. His angels are ministering to you, and His Spirit is active in your life. The sense of peace in the dream is a tangible confirmation that God's power and authority are at work, and that you are being equipped, strengthened, and guided for every step of your journey. Angelic encounter dreams can also be a call to obedience and readiness. In Scripture, angels often deliver instructions that require immediate action, obedience, and faith. Similarly, when an angel appears in a dream, it may be God's way of prompting you to respond to His calling, to step into a new season, or to align with a specific purpose. The dream encourages vigilance, attentiveness, and discernment. You are being reminded that spiritual readiness is essential for divine assignment. The angel may appear to inspire courage, clarify a decision, or reveal a pathway that requires immediate engagement. Responding in faith is key, as angels do not merely bring information, they bring direction, empowerment, and confirmation that your next steps are divinely orchestrated. Another dimension of the angelic encounter dream is encouragement in the face of challenges. Life often presents obstacles, opposition, or moments of uncertainty that test faith and resilience. Seeing an angel in your dream is a spiritual reassurance that God's power is greater than any difficulty you face. The dream communicates that you are not battling alone, that divine help is available, and that victory is assured when you trust and obey. Angels in dreams often remind us of the unseen spiritual realities, the heavenly forces at work, and the authority that has been granted to those called by God. This encouragement strengthens the spirit, fortifies faith, and inspires perseverance. The dream reminds you that God is always in control, that His purposes cannot be thwarted, and that His power is sufficient to carry you through every challenge. Angelic encounter dreams often carry a sense of divine timing. The angel may appear to deliver a message at a specific moment, signaling that a season of waiting is ending or that a breakthrough is imminent. Timing is crucial in the spiritual realm, and these dreams are God's way of aligning your awareness with His schedule. You may receive insight into opportunities that are approaching, warnings about potential pitfalls, or guidance on when to act. The dream emphasizes patience, discernment, and trust in God's timing. It reminds you that divine appointments are perfectly orchestrated and that your steps are being directed according to His plan. Paying attention to the timing and details of the dream allows you to respond with faith and wisdom, ensuring that you are in alignment with God's purposes. The angelic encounter dream may also inspire a sense of worship and reverence. The presence of an angel often evokes awe and admiration, reminding you of the majesty and holiness of God. This response is a spiritual confirmation that you are in alignment with His presence and purposes. Worship in the dream, whether through adoration, acknowledgement, or prayer, signifies recognition of God's authority and power. The dream encourages you to cultivate a deeper intimacy with God, to acknowledge His sovereignty, and to respond with faith, obedience, and devotion. Angels in dreams are not only messengers, they are reminders of God's glory, His power, and His unending love for those who follow Him. Angelic encounter dreams can also reveal assignments or destiny. Many who experience these dreams find that they are called to a specific purpose, ministry, or life path. The angel may provide guidance, encouragement, or insight into the work God has prepared for you. These dreams serve as a divine roadmap, helping you navigate your journey, recognize opportunities, and understand your role in God's kingdom. The angelic presence reassures you that your life has significance, that your steps are being directed, and that you are being prepared for impact. Each encounter is a spiritual invitation to rise into your calling, to embrace your purpose, and to trust that God is equipping you for the task ahead. Finally, the angelic encounter dream is a profound reminder of God's love, presence, and sovereignty. Angels appear to minister, guide, and protect, but their presence ultimately points back to God Himself. The dream is a confirmation that you are known, valued, and called according to His purpose. It encourages faith, trust, and obedience, assuring you that you are being guided, protected, and prepared for every step of your journey. The angelic encounter is not merely a dream, it is a spiritual visitation, a message, and a confirmation that God is actively moving in your life. The dream invites you to embrace the guidance, protection, and revelation that comes from God through His messengers. It reminds you that His purposes are perfect, His timing is impeccable, and His power is sufficient to bring every promise to fulfillment. The angelic encounter dream is not simply a vision. It is a prophetic sign, a message from heaven, and a call to recognize God's active presence in your life. It reassures you that guidance, protection, and revelation are available, and that your steps are being directed by the One who holds all things in His hands. Embrace the dream, listen to the messages, and trust the Spirit of God to guide you into your calling, destiny, and purpose. Angels may appear, but the ultimate message is that God is with you, directing your path, protecting your life, and preparing you for the extraordinary plans He has ordained. Number 5, the fire or light dream. Have you ever woken from a dream with the vivid image of fire or light, feeling a warmth or a brilliance that seemed to penetrate your very soul? Perhaps the fire was gentle and illuminating, casting a glow that filled the space around you, or maybe it burned with intensity, demanding attention and respect. Fire and light in dreams carry profound spiritual significance. They are not just natural elements, but symbols of God's presence, revelation, purification, and empowerment. When you see fire or light in a dream, it is often a prophetic signal that God is speaking to your spirit, revealing truths that go beyond what your natural eyes can perceive. Many who encounter these dreams report a sense of awe, clarity, and transformation, as though a veil has been lifted and they are seeing life from a higher perspective. Fire represents God's refining power, His ability to purify, energize, and empower, while light symbolizes guidance, revelation, and divine understanding. Together, they carry a message that God is moving in your life in ways that are both illuminating and transformative. One of the primary messages of the fire or light dream is purification. Just as fire refines gold, removing impurities and leaving behind pure metal, God uses fire in dreams to signify His refining work in your life. You may be experiencing challenges, setbacks, or even seasons of testing, and the dream is a confirmation that these experiences are not random. They are part of God's process of shaping your character, preparing you for higher levels of responsibility, and aligning your life with His purposes. Fire in a dream may feel intense, even frightening, but its purpose is always redemptive. It signals that God is burning away what is unnecessary, unhelpful, or contrary to His will, leaving you spiritually stronger, clearer in vision, and more aligned with His calling. The dream is a divine invitation to embrace this refining process, to trust that what may feel uncomfortable or challenging is ultimately producing transformation, strength, and spiritual maturity. Light in dreams carries a complementary message. Where fire represents refining, light represents guidance, revelation, and clarity. Seeing light in your dream may indicate that God is illuminating your path, exposing hidden truths, or bringing insight into situations that were previously unclear. Light dispels darkness, removes confusion, and provides direction. Spiritually, the dream is a reminder that God is always present, guiding you and revealing His truth. If you feel drawn toward the light, it may signify a call to step into greater understanding, to pursue wisdom, or to embrace the next step in your spiritual journey. The dream reassures you that God's Spirit is active, that His guidance is available, and that His wisdom will illuminate every decision, relationship, and opportunity in your life. Light carries encouragement, hope, and the promise of clarity, even in seasons of uncertainty. The fire or light dream also signifies empowerment. Fire is dynamic, powerful, and impossible to ignore. In dreams, it often represents the anointing, strength, and empowerment that God is releasing in your life. You may be entering a season where His Spirit will ignite gifts, talents, and abilities that have been dormant. The dream encourages you to step boldly into the assignments and opportunities God is placing before you. Just as fire spreads, so too will the impact of God's empowerment in your life extend to those around you. The dream serves as a reminder that God is not only refining and illuminating your path, but also equipping you to fulfill your purpose. His power is active, and your response to it will determine the depth and reach of its manifestation. Fire and light in dreams also carry a sense of urgency and transformation. Fire cannot be contained. It moves, spreads, and transforms everything in its path. Similarly, the presence of fire in your dream signals that God is calling you to immediate action, spiritual awakening, or radical alignment with His will. There may be areas in your life where complacency, fear, or delay have hindered progress, and the dream is a spiritual wake-up call. Light in the dream emphasizes clarity, direction, and divine insight. Together, fire and light encourage attentiveness to God's Spirit, readiness to respond, and willingness to step into transformation without hesitation. These dreams often leave a lasting impression, compelling you to make decisions that align with God's purposes and to pursue paths that bring growth, influence, and fulfillment. The fire or light dream can also be a sign of God's presence and protection. Fire in Scripture often accompanies encounters with God, from the burning bush to the pillar of fire that led the Israelites. Light represents His presence that guides, comforts, and reveals. In your dream, Seeing fire or light is a spiritual confirmation that you are not alone, that God's Spirit is active, and that His power is surrounding and equipping you. It is a reassurance that even in moments of uncertainty, danger, or spiritual warfare, God's presence is unshakable, His guidance is certain, and His protection is continuous. The dream encourages faith, trust, and courage, reminding you that His Spirit is both refining and guarding you. Fire and light dreams are also often associated with divine revelation and creativity. Fire ignites passion, energy, and initiative, while light illuminates understanding and insight. God may be using the dream to signal a season where He will reveal new ideas, opportunities, or solutions to challenges in your life. It may be a call to step into creative endeavors, leadership, or ministry with boldness and confidence. The dream reassures you that His Spirit is actively inspiring, guiding, and equipping you for purpose-driven action. Just as a flame can inspire warmth and energy, so too does the presence of fire in a dream indicate that God is igniting vision, creativity, and determination in your spirit. The emotional and spiritual impact of fire and light dreams is profound. Many who experience these dreams wake with a sense of awe, passion, or a renewed sense of purpose. They are often left with a lingering impression that something significant is unfolding in their lives, and that God is actively moving in ways that are both visible and invisible. These dreams encourage attentiveness to spiritual insight, reflection on personal growth, and openness to divine direction. Fire and light call you to embrace transformation, pursue understanding, and step confidently into the assignments and opportunities God has prepared. They serve as a reminder that God is not only present, but actively involved in refining, guiding, and empowering you to fulfill your destiny. Finally, the fire or light dream is a prophetic message of hope, renewal, and divine alignment. It communicates that God is preparing you for breakthrough, illumination, and empowerment in every area of your life. Fire purifies, refines, and ignites. Light guides, reveals, and encourages. Together, they are a sign that God is actively shaping your destiny, opening your understanding, and equipping you for influence, purpose, and fulfillment. The dream invites you to pay attention, to respond in faith, and to embrace the transformative work of God in your life. It reassures you that His Spirit is moving, His power is active, and His presence is constant. Fire and light are more than symbolic. They are the tangible expression of God's activity, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you to walk fully in your calling. The fire or light dream is not just a vision or an impression. It is a divine message, a prophetic sign, and an invitation to embrace God's refining, illuminating, and empowering work in your life. It reminds you that His presence is with you, His Spirit is active, and His purposes are unfolding according to perfect timing. Embrace the dream. Step into the light. Allow the fire to refine your heart, and trust the Spirit of God to guide, equip, and empower you for the extraordinary plans He has prepared. Number 6. The chosen or crowned dream. There are dreams that carry more than messages. They carry destinies. They carry purpose. The chosen or crowned dream is one of those dreams. When you have this dream, it is not merely a reflection of your thoughts or desires. It is a divine appointment. It is God speaking to your spirit, revealing that you have been selected for a task beyond the ordinary, called into a life set apart by His hand. In this dream, symbols of selection, crowns, honor, and recognition often appear. Each is an indication that God has marked you for something greater. The dream itself is confirmation. It is God's gentle yet firm whisper saying, "You are chosen, you are called." The first thing to understand is that being chosen does not mean you are perfect. It does not mean that all struggles or failures are erased. The chosen or crowned dream speaks of assignment, not automatic privilege. When God calls, He calls the imperfect. He calls those willing to surrender. The dream may show a crown above your head, a light shining upon you, or an authority being handed over. These are spiritual symbols, not literal predictions of fame or wealth. They point to spiritual authority, responsibility, and purpose. The crown is the anointing of God, a sign that He has entrusted you with vision, influence, or insight for His kingdom. Often, the dream emphasizes readiness and positioning. You may see yourself standing in a place of honor, sitting before others, or receiving recognition. These images represent the spiritual elevation that God has planned for you. They indicate that God sees you. Even when you feel small, overlooked, or inadequate in life, the dream affirms that His eyes are on you. You are prepared, even if you do not yet feel prepared. The chosen or crowned dream is a reassurance that God is shaping you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. It is a call to align your life with His purpose, to step into obedience, and to embrace the destiny He has set before you. Another important element of this dream is the emphasis on responsibility. Crowns in the dream do not symbolize entitlement, they symbolize stewardship. You are chosen not merely to receive, but to carry. You are crowned not merely to shine, but to lead. God's assignment always involves the carrying of His will into the lives of others. This dream often shows you in a position where you are called to influence, guide, or intercede. It is God's way of preparing you spiritually for the responsibilities you will bear. He wants your heart aligned with His. The dream reminds you that calling and assignment come with accountability. You are selected to be faithful, wise, and steadfast in all that He entrusts to you. The timing of the dream also carries meaning. These dreams often come at a point of transition, decision, or uncertainty. They appear when God wants to confirm His choice, reassure you, or redirect your focus. If you are facing doubt, fear, or questioning your path, this dream serves as divine affirmation. It says, "Do not be discouraged. You are seen. You are chosen." God is orchestrating events, positioning circumstances, and shaping relationships to fulfill His plan for your life. The dream is a confirmation that even in waiting or struggle, you are under divine selection. Your time of prominence, influence, or impact is coming according to God's timing. The symbols within the chosen or crowned dream are significant. Crowns, for instance, represent authority, victory, and divine approval. They are spiritual markers of honor, not human recognition. Seeing a crown or being crowned in a dream signifies God's acknowledgement of your calling. Light often accompanies these dreams, symbolizing revelation, guidance, and divine presence. Steps, roads, or elevated positions indicate the journey of obedience and spiritual ascent. Even if the dream seems abstract, every element is intentionally placed to convey God's affirmation that you are called for something higher. It is also important to note the emotional and spiritual impact of this dream. Many who receive it wake with a sense of weight and wonder. There may be joy, excitement, and anticipation. There may also be humility, reverence, and even fear. All of these reactions are normal. God's calling is both glorious and sobering. The dream is designed to provoke reflection. Are you ready to respond? Are you willing to walk the path God has chosen for you? It is an invitation to deeper alignment with Him. It reminds you that the life of the chosen is a life of purpose, perseverance, and prayer. Dreams of being chosen or crowned also serve as a prophetic reminder that God's plan is sovereign. He does not select by appearance, by status, or by worldly measures. He selects by purpose. What you see in the dream may not reflect your current position in life. The crown may seem distant or unattainable. The honor may feel undeserved. That is the point. God's calling transcends human limitations. The dream encourages faith, urging you to trust His vision rather than your circumstances. It reassures you that your current struggles do not disqualify you. Your faithfulness and surrender are what matter most. A recurring feature of these dreams is the presence of others, faces in the distance, crowds, or individuals acknowledging you. These represent the spheres of influence God has prepared for you. They indicate that your calling is never meant to exist in isolation. You are chosen to impact, to minister, to inspire, and to lead. The dream teaches that God positions the chosen among people, communities, and situations where His will can be manifested. The recognition of others in the dream is not pride, it is divine purpose. It is the confirmation that your life is woven into a larger story orchestrated by God. The chosen or crowned dream also conveys spiritual identity. It affirms who you are in God's eyes. When the dream emphasizes selection or anointing, it is a reminder that your identity is rooted in His choice, not in human approval. You are not defined by failure, rejection, or criticism. You are defined by the God who sees, calls, and appoints. This dream can be particularly powerful for those who struggle with self-doubt. It reminds the dreamer that calling is not earned by perfection, but received by surrender. You are chosen because God knows your heart, your potential, and your willingness to follow Him. One of the greatest lessons of the chosen or crowned dream is the call to courage. Dreams of crowns, elevation, and selection are not merely for comfort. They are for preparation. The dream challenges you to rise above fear, doubt, and worldly distractions. It calls you to walk with integrity, to speak with authority, and to act with faith. The crown you see represents not only honor, but responsibility. God equips the chosen for the journey. The dream is an invitation to step boldly into the life He has prepared. It is a declaration that hesitation and timidity have no place in the path of the chosen. Many who experience this dream report a lingering sense of awe and purpose. That lingering sense is the work of God's Spirit. It is a reminder that calling is continuous. Being chosen or crowned is not a one-time event. It is a process, a journey of faith, obedience, and spiritual growth. Each time you reflect on the dream, you are reminded to align your thoughts, decisions, and actions with God's will. The dream plants a seed of destiny within your spirit. Nurtured with prayer, obedience, and humility, it will grow into the fulfillment of the life God has prepared for you. Finally, the chosen or crowned dream is a call to devotion. It reminds you that God's selection comes with intimacy. To be chosen is to be known. To be crowned is to be seen. Your life is not hidden from God. He is aware of your struggles, your gifts, your potential, and your dreams. This dream is an invitation to walk in greater awareness of His presence, to cultivate spiritual discipline, and to embrace the responsibilities of your calling. It is both an encouragement and a warning. The life of the chosen is one of both privilege and accountability. The chosen or crowned dream is a profound spiritual indicator. It signifies divine selection, purpose, and calling. It reassures, confirms, and challenges. It reminds you that you are seen by God, selected for His plan, and equipped for the journey. When you receive this dream, understand that it is not a simple message. It is a confirmation of destiny. You are called, you are appointed, you are chosen, you are crowned. The dream is God's affirmation that your life carries weight, your steps carry purpose, and your calling carries eternal significance. It is a call to step into the life He has prepared, to embrace the responsibilities, to walk with courage, and to shine His light in the places He has chosen for you. You are chosen. You are crowned. You are appointed. Step into the calling. Walk in faith. Live in purpose. Number 7. The battle or armor dream. There are dreams that speak of conflict, of preparation, and of protection. The battle or armor dream is one of those dreams. When God gives this type of dream, He is revealing that you are entering a spiritual season that requires vigilance and divine strength. This dream is never random. It is a message to your spirit, a calling to recognize that your life is part of a greater struggle, a battle unseen but very real. You may see armor, swords, shields, or even yourself in the midst of a fight. These symbols are not meant to frighten, but to awaken. They signify protection, preparation, and the presence of God's power in your life. When you experience a battle or armor dream, it is God's way of saying that your spirit is being readied. You are being equipped for challenges that go beyond the natural. The first lesson of the battle or armor dream is awareness. In this dream, every detail matters. Armor may appear shining, heavy, complete, or even incomplete. Each element represents spiritual truth. A helmet signifies clarity of mind, understanding, and protection of your thoughts. A breastplate represents righteousness, guarding your heart and your emotions. A sword symbolizes the word of God, your weapon in spiritual engagement. The shield represents faith, a protection against attacks that aim to shake your confidence or redirect your purpose. These symbols are not merely physical representations. They are spiritual confirmations that God is equipping you for the unseen struggles that accompany your calling. This dream often appears during seasons of testing. It may come when you are facing decisions, opposition, or spiritual resistance. The battle you see is rarely against people alone. It is against the forces of darkness that aim to hinder your destiny. When you receive this dream, it is God's way of preparing your spirit to stand firm. It reminds you that spiritual warfare is real and that preparation is key. The dream communicates that you are not alone. God is your shield, your strength, and your armor. The presence of armor in the dream signifies that divine protection surrounds you and that your faith and obedience are crucial in navigating challenges. The dream also speaks of readiness. When armor appears, it is a call to spiritual discipline. God is showing you that you cannot walk into spiritual battles unprepared. Prayer, fasting, studying His word, and maintaining righteousness are all part of donning your armor. The dream may show the armor being put on piece by piece, or it may show it already in place. Both are messages of preparation and awareness. God is teaching you that each element of spiritual armor corresponds to a principle of faith and obedience. The dream confirms that your life is being aligned for protection, empowerment, and victory. Another important aspect of the battle or armor dream is courage. You may feel fear, tension, or anticipation when this dream comes. These emotions are natural. The dream is meant to awaken bravery in your spirit. God is reminding you that battles are not to be faced in weakness, doubt, or delay. He is calling you to stand firm, to trust His presence, and to move forward with faith. The dream communicates that courage is not absence of fear, but obedience in the face of it. You are being reminded that the battles you encounter are opportunities to demonstrate faith, resilience, and reliance on God's strength. The dream may also show movement or strategy. You may see yourself marching, standing your ground, or even leading others. This is a confirmation that your life is part of a greater spiritual engagement. God is not only preparing you to defend yourself, but also to influence situations, relationships, and communities. The dream signifies authority and responsibility in spiritual matters. It reminds you that God equips His people for impact. The way you move, the decisions you make, and the authority you exercise in alignment with God's will are reflected in the dream as positioning and strategy. One of the most significant aspects of this dream is discernment. The battle is never just physical, it is spiritual. You may encounter enemies in the dream, but these enemies represent forces, challenges, or negative influences that oppose God's plan for your life. The armor signifies discernment and protection. God is teaching your spirit to recognize attacks before they manifest in the natural. You are being shown that preparation, prayer, and spiritual vigilance are necessary tools for navigating life. The dream is a prophetic reminder that discernment allows you to stand, not stumble. The symbols in the dream often emphasize completeness. Full armor signifies readiness, while gaps may indicate areas where you need more spiritual focus. God uses this dream to show you where you are strong and where you need growth. The dream may reveal areas of weakness, whether in faith, character, or obedience. When you see these gaps, it is not for condemnation, but for instruction. God is revealing areas that require attention so that you may be fully equipped. The dream serves as both encouragement and correction. It confirms that divine strength is available when preparation is aligned with His will. The emotional impact of the dream is also meaningful. Many who experience a battle or armor dream wake with heightened awareness, determination, or even a sense of urgency. This is God's Spirit stirring within you. The dream is meant to awaken, resolve, and focus. It reminds you that spiritual preparation is continuous. The life of a chosen person or one called to purpose will encounter opposition. But the dream reassures you that you are not powerless. Your faith, your obedience, and the spiritual armor God provides are sufficient to face every challenge. Timing is critical in the interpretation of this dream. Often God brings this dream at moments of transition. You may be moving into a new assignment, facing opposition, or entering a season that requires strength. The dream serves as divine timing. It communicates that God is not surprised by the battles you face. He is orchestrating circumstances to refine, prepare, and position you. This dream is a confirmation that even when life seems uncertain, your spiritual foundation is secure. You are being equipped to walk boldly into the battles that accompany your purpose. The dream also emphasizes victory. Armor is not only for protection, it is a sign that God has already provided the tools for triumph. The dream may show enemies defeated, battles won, or a sense of peace amid conflict. These images signify God's assurance that you are empowered to overcome. The battle or armor dream confirms that victory is not dependent on your strength alone. It is God working through your preparation, obedience, and faith. The dream is a prophetic reminder that battles are temporary, but divine victory is eternal. Another key aspect of this dream is spiritual identity. When God shows you armor, He is affirming your position in His kingdom. You are not a passive observer in life's battles. You are an active participant in God's plan. The dream confirms that your life has significance, your choices have impact, and your obedience matters. Armor is a marker of identity. It signifies that you are called, appointed, and protected. The battle or armor dream is God's way of reminding you that your spiritual position is recognized and fortified in Him. This dream also encourages perseverance. Battles are not always short, and armor is not always comfortable. You may feel pressure, fatigue, or challenge in the dream. These are reminders that the life of faith requires endurance. God is teaching you that preparation is ongoing and that strength comes through reliance on Him. The dream is a call to remain steadfast, to keep your eyes on God, and to continue in faith, even when circumstances appear daunting. It is a prophetic encouragement that every battle faced with God's armor leads to growth, resilience, and spiritual maturity. The battle or armor dream often carries personal instruction. You may be shown specific aspects of your life that require protection. God may highlight relationships, decisions, thoughts, or emotions that need guarding. The armor is symbolic of these areas. By paying attention to the details in the dream, you can receive insight into the spiritual principles God wants to emphasize. It is a guide for daily life, urging vigilance, prayer, and intentional alignment with God's will. The dream is both instruction and affirmation. Finally, the battle or armor dream is a prophetic call to action. It is not a passive message. It urges you to put on your spiritual armor, to stand in faith, and to confront challenges with the assurance of God's presence. The dream reminds you that preparation, discipline, and spiritual awareness are essential for navigating life's battles. It is a confirmation that you are not alone, that God is with you, and that victory is certain when you rely on His strength. This dream is a declaration that your life has purpose, your calling has significance, and your spiritual armor is sufficient for every challenge ahead. The battle or armor dream is a profound spiritual indicator. It signifies preparation, protection, vigilance, and divine equipping. It reassures, instructs, and challenges. It reminds you that life involves spiritual battles, but God provides the tools for victory. When you receive this dream, understand that it is more than a message. It is a divine confirmation that your spirit is being readied, that your life is significant, and that God has provided the armor necessary for triumph. You are called, you are equipped, you are prepared. Step forward in faith, put on the armor, stand firm, and walk boldly into every battle with confidence in God's protection and power. Number 8. The voice or whisper dream. There are dreams that speak louder than the mind can comprehend, and then there are dreams that speak softly, tenderly, like a whisper carried on the wind. The voice or whisper dream is one of the most intimate forms of communication from God. When this dream occurs, it is a signal that the Creator is drawing near, that He desires to speak directly to your heart. It is a personal message, a revelation meant to guide, correct, encourage, or awaken you. Unlike other dreams that may show visions of events, battles, or crowns, the voice or whisper dream focuses on connection. It reminds you that God's communication is not always grand or dramatic. Sometimes it is gentle, subtle, but unmistakably powerful. The first lesson of this dream is attentiveness. God uses whispers to teach the importance of listening closely. In these dreams, the details often matter more than the spectacle. The tone, the cadence, the feeling of the voice all carry meaning. You may not remember words clearly, but the impression, the warmth, or the weight of the whisper will linger. This dream shows that God is calling you to tune your spirit, to quiet the noise of life, and to attune yourself to His presence. The voice in the dream is not just information, it is instruction for your heart. It is guidance that will shape your decisions, your path, and your spiritual alignment. These dreams also reveal intimacy with God. A whisper is close. It is meant to be heard by the one intended, private, personal, and intentional. When you experience this dream, it signifies that you are known. Your concerns, your struggles, your desires, your fears, they are all seen by the one who whispers. The dream affirms your value and your place in God's plan. It reminds you that divine communication is not dependent on ceremony or grandeur. Even in the quietest moment, God is present. The whisper in the dream is a reminder that your spiritual relationship is alive, that your life is being directed, and that His attention is upon you. Clarity is another element revealed by this dream. A whisper does not always shout instructions, yet it conveys certainty. It may awaken insight, bring understanding, or illuminate a path. The dream may reveal answers to questions that have lingered, confirmation for decisions, or direction for moments of uncertainty. God uses the dream to speak into areas of life where human wisdom is limited. The whisper may carry words, feelings, or impressions. Each element is meant to draw your spirit into alignment with His will. The voice or whisper dream emphasizes that clarity often comes through stillness, attentiveness, and faith. Timing is essential in understanding this dream. The whisper is rarely urgent in a dramatic sense. It comes in the moment when your spirit is ready to receive it. These dreams often appear when you are seeking guidance, facing a decision, or entering a season of transition. The whisper may come as a gentle nudge, a question, or a declaration that stirs your heart. God uses these dreams to indicate that He is orchestrating circumstances and that His timing is perfect. The dream is a reassurance that even when life feels uncertain, His direction is available. It teaches patience, attentiveness, and spiritual sensitivity. The voice or whisper dream is also a reminder of discernment. Not every voice is divine, and not every whisper carries truth. In these dreams, the spiritual sensitivity of the dreamer is tested and refined. God shows that His voice is distinguishable by peace, clarity, and alignment with righteousness. The dream encourages the development of spiritual discernment, the ability to recognize His guidance in the midst of confusion. It is a training ground for listening with your spirit, for hearing beyond the natural, and for distinguishing between human thought and divine communication. Emotional resonance is a key feature of the dream. When God speaks through a whisper in a dream, it often leaves a lasting impression on the heart. You may awaken with a sense of calm, awe, or conviction. Sometimes it evokes joy, other times it brings conviction, prompting reflection and change. The lingering effect is a sign that the dream was divine. It is God's way of embedding a spiritual truth into your consciousness. The whisper may not be loud, but it carries weight, influence, and authority. The dream confirms that subtlety in God's communication is purposeful, meant to awaken attentiveness and intimacy. This type of dream also reveals alignment and calling. When God whispers in a dream, He may highlight areas of life where obedience, focus, or faithfulness is required. The dream can confirm a spiritual assignment, reveal a hidden truth, or bring encouragement to continue on the path of purpose. It often points to a calling that is quiet but powerful, a direction that requires trust rather than sight. The whisper may call you to action, to perseverance, or to preparation. It teaches that the life of faith is built on attentiveness, obedience, and a heart tuned to divine instruction. Symbolism is important in these dreams. A whisper may come with imagery, a sound of wind, a soft light, a hand extended, or a presence felt without sight. Each symbol is intentional, carrying additional meaning to guide the spirit. The dream may show clarity emerging from darkness, a voice breaking through confusion, or subtle signs pointing toward purpose. God uses these symbols to strengthen understanding, to provide guidance beyond words, and to reveal His will in a form the spirit can grasp. The whisper is a teacher, using subtlety to shape insight, faith, and obedience. The dream also teaches spiritual discipline. A voice or whisper dream is a call to cultivate sensitivity to God's presence in everyday life. It reminds you that hearing God requires intentionality. Prayer, meditation, reflection, and obedience sharpen spiritual hearing. The dream emphasizes that those who are attuned to God's voice in dreams are also attuned in waking life. The whisper trains the spirit to recognize His communication in many forms, through people, circumstances, scripture, or quiet moments of reflection. It is an ongoing invitation to deepen intimacy and responsiveness to the Spirit. The impact of this dream extends beyond the immediate moment. Whispers in dreams often carry prophetic significance. They can confirm paths, provide warnings, or reveal insight into future events. They are part of a continuous conversation between God and the dreamer. The dream is an invitation to trust, to act in alignment with divine guidance, and to carry the message into life consciously. The voice or whisper dream reminds you that spiritual listening is not passive. It is active engagement, reflection, and obedience. Each whisper is a step toward greater understanding and fulfillment of purpose. The voice or whisper dream is one of profound intimacy and spiritual significance. It signifies God's personal communication, guidance, and attention. It calls for attentiveness, discernment, and obedience. It reassures, instructs, and awakens. When you experience this dream, it is a reminder that God desires to speak directly to your heart, that He is aware of your life, and that His guidance is always available. The whisper may be soft, but it carries power, direction, and divine authority. It is an invitation to listen, to align, and to respond. It teaches that faith is nurtured in attentiveness, that calling is confirmed through clarity, and that God's presence is revealed even in the quietest moments. The dream reminds you that you are not alone, that your spirit is being guided, and that His voice will always lead you into purpose, understanding, and fulfillment. Number 9, the fruitful garden or harvest dream. There are dreams that reveal provision, growth, and promise. The fruitful garden or harvest dream is one of those dreams. When God gives this dream, He is showing that a season of increase, blessing, and multiplication is coming. It is a confirmation of labor, faithfulness, and obedience. This dream is never accidental. It carries divine insight, revealing that what you have sown in your spirit, your actions, or your life will yield fruit. You may see gardens filled with vibrant plants, fields of ripened crops, or trees heavy with fruit. These symbols point to abundance, spiritual growth, and divine favor. The dream communicates that God is honoring what has been cultivated in your life and that a season of harvest is approaching. The first message of this dream is preparation. Gardens require tending and harvests require patience. When you have this dream, God is confirming that your diligence is not in vain. Your prayers, your sacrifices, and your faithfulness are recognized. The dream encourages reflection on what you have sown and how you have nurtured it. Each plant, each crop, and each fruit represents effort, intention, and faith. God is showing that spiritual growth is a process and that His timing is perfect. This dream reminds you that the work of the Spirit in your life requires patience and care, and that the harvest will come when the season is right. The fruitful garden or harvest dream also reveals purpose. Every tree, plant, and crop carries meaning. Some fruits may represent wisdom, others relationships or spiritual gifts. The dream may show abundance in one area and growth in another. God is confirming that your life has multiple dimensions of fruitfulness. The dream encourages discernment to recognize which areas of your life are ready for harvest and which still require nurturing. It teaches that spiritual and natural growth often occur simultaneously, and that God's favor touches both the seen and unseen aspects of your life. Symbolism is essential in interpreting this dream. Flowers may represent beauty and new beginnings, while trees symbolize strength, endurance, and legacy. Ripened fruit represents the fulfillment of purpose and the manifestation of blessing. The dream may show overflowing harvests, signifying abundance beyond expectation, or it may show carefully tended plots, emphasizing intentional growth. God uses these symbols to reveal that the life He is cultivating in you is productive, purposeful, and designed for impact. The dream is a confirmation that divine provision accompanies faithfulness. Timing is a central theme of this dream. The harvest is never immediate. Seeds must be planted, watered, and nurtured. The dream communicates that God's timing governs increase. It reassures that even when results seem delayed, growth is occurring beneath the surface. The fruitful garden or harvest dream reminds you to trust the process and remain faithful in the seasons of waiting. It is a divine call to continue sowing in prayer, obedience, and righteous action, knowing that the harvest is assured by God's faithfulness, not human effort alone. The dream also emphasizes multiplication. Gardens and harvests rarely yield only one fruit. They produce abundance, a result of careful sowing and divine blessing. God is indicating that your efforts will not only sustain you, but will overflow to impact others. The dream shows that your life has influence and reach, that your faithfulness will touch families, communities, and even generations. The fruitful garden or harvest dream is a prophetic affirmation of legacy. It teaches that what is sown in righteousness and obedience produces not only personal blessing, but also spiritual and practical impact in the world around you. The emotional impact of this dream is significant. Many who experience it wake with a sense of hope, encouragement, and anticipation. The dream inspires confidence that God's favor is active and that what has been invested spiritually, emotionally, or physically will yield results. It communicates reassurance in times of doubt, reminding you that divine blessing follows faithfulness. The dream often leaves a lasting impression on the heart, reinforcing patience, trust, and commitment. It is God's way of confirming that your efforts are recognized, your labor is seen, and your season of fruitfulness is near. The dream also carries a call to stewardship. Gardens and harvests require care, attention, and protection. The fruitful garden or harvest dream reminds you to nurture what God has given. Spiritual gifts, relationships, and blessings require vigilance to maintain their integrity and purpose. The dream may also serve as a warning against neglect, pride, or complacency. God is teaching that fruitfulness is not merely received, but is cultivated through responsibility, prayer, and wise management. The dream emphasizes that blessing carries both opportunity and accountability. Another important aspect of this dream is spiritual alignment. Gardens grow best in fertile soil, and harvests are abundant when conditions are right. The dream is often an invitation to examine your life, to identify areas that require spiritual enrichment, and to align with God's will. It teaches that fruitfulness is the result of harmony with God's plan. The dream may reveal areas of life that need pruning, cleansing, or renewal. God uses this dream to show that alignment with His purposes ensures growth, sustenance, and the manifestation of blessing. The dream also emphasizes gratitude and worship. The abundance of a garden or the fullness of a harvest is a reminder that every blessing comes from God. When you have this dream, it is God's invitation to acknowledge His provision and to offer thanksgiving. The dream cultivates a spirit of recognition that growth and fruitfulness are not merely personal achievements, but the results of divine favor. It teaches humility, reverence, and dependence on God, reinforcing that a fruitful life is one rooted in acknowledgement of His presence and provision. Finally, the fruitful garden or harvest dream is a prophetic encouragement to continue sowing in faith. It is a reminder that every effort, whether seen or unseen, contributes to the overall abundance in your life. The dream confirms that God multiplies diligence, faith, and obedience. It reassures that labor in righteousness produces reward, and that patience in seasons of waiting brings fulfillment. The dream emphasizes that fruitfulness is a reflection of divine purpose, a confirmation that God is at work in your life, and a call to continue trusting Him with every aspect of your journey. The fruitful garden or harvest dream is a powerful spiritual indicator. It signifies provision, growth, blessing, and divine favor. It confirms effort, encourages faithfulness, and calls for attentiveness, stewardship, and alignment with God's will. When you experience this dream, it is a reminder that God is at work, that what has been sown will bear fruit, and that abundance is coming in due season. It teaches that growth is a process, fruitfulness is a reward for faithfulness, and every blessing carries purpose and responsibility. The dream is a confirmation that your labor, prayer, and dedication are recognized by God, and that a season of multiplication, increase, and spiritual fulfillment is approaching. It is an invitation to trust, to nurture, and to step into the fullness of the life God has prepared. Number 10. The animal or messenger dream. There are dreams that carry messages, and there are dreams that carry messengers. The animal or messenger dream is one of the most profound spiritual indicators, for it reveals communication from God through symbolism, instinct, and purpose. When this dream occurs, it is not coincidental. It is a divine signal that God is using creation, nature, or specific beings to convey insight, guidance, or revelation. Animals often appear in dreams as carriers of spiritual truth, as indicators of characteristics, or as symbols of events and people that will influence your path. This dream confirms that God's ways of speaking are limitless, and that His messages can come through forms that the human mind may initially overlook. The first lesson of this dream is perception. Animals in dreams often represent qualities or situations that require discernment. The type of animal, its behavior, and the environment in which it appears are all significant. For example, a lion may symbolize courage, authority, or spiritual strength. A dove may indicate peace, revelation, or the presence of the Holy Spirit. Wolves, serpents, birds, or domestic animals each carry distinct meanings. God uses these symbols to awaken the dreamer to specific truths about their life, character, or calling. The messenger aspect of the dream emphasizes that divine communication often comes indirectly through patterns, instincts, or natural elements that carry a message to the spiritual mind. The dream often highlights guidance and direction. When an animal acts as a messenger, it is pointing to an area of your life that requires attention or understanding. The animal may lead you to a particular location, draw your focus to an object, or signal a change in circumstance. This is God's way of instructing your spirit to be alert, to follow guidance, and to recognize the signs He places before you. The messenger in the dream emphasizes that spiritual insight is not always loud or dramatic. It may come subtly, through intuition, symbols, or the quiet prompting of the Spirit. The dream encourages sensitivity to these messages and calls you to trust the wisdom behind them. The animal or messenger dream also speaks of relationships and influence. Animals may represent people in your life, situations that are coming, or spiritual forces that will impact your path. When you see certain animals interacting with you, obeying you, or guiding you, it reflects divine orchestration in your environment. God uses this dream to indicate allies, warnings, or opportunities. The dream reminds you that life is interconnected, and that spiritual awareness allows you to navigate relationships and circumstances with insight. The messenger is a sign that guidance is always available, and that divine timing is at work even when events seem uncertain. Another element of this dream is spiritual preparation. Animals often symbolize instinct, alertness, and responsiveness. When God sends a messenger through a dream, He is reminding you to cultivate awareness, discernment, and readiness. You are being prepared to act in alignment with His purpose, to recognize danger, blessing, or opportunity, and to respond faithfully. The dream emphasizes that spiritual sensitivity is cultivated through prayer, reflection, and attentiveness to both natural and supernatural signals. It is an invitation to train your spirit to perceive God's communication in many forms. The emotional tone of this dream is also significant. Many who experience an animal or messenger dream awaken with a sense of wonder, urgency, or clarity. These emotions are not random, they are part of the message. The dream is designed to leave a lasting impression, ensuring that the guidance is remembered and acted upon. God uses animals and messengers in dreams to impress truths upon the heart, often revealing things that the conscious mind might miss. The lingering sense of significance, curiosity, or caution is the spirit confirming that attention is required. Finally, the animal or messenger dream is a reminder that God's communication transcends human expectation. It demonstrates that He can speak through creation, instinct, and symbolism in ways that challenge conventional understanding. The dream encourages reflection, discernment, and spiritual sensitivity. It calls you to pay attention to the signs, to interpret with prayer and wisdom, and to trust that messages conveyed through animals are purposeful. The dream assures you that divine guidance is always available, and that the ways of God are far-reaching, creative, and intentional. The animal or messenger dream is a profound spiritual indicator. It signifies divine communication, guidance, and preparation. It calls for attentiveness, discernment, and reflection. When you experience this dream, it is God's way of showing that His messages can come through creation, instincts, and symbolic forms. The dream encourages trust in spiritual insight, obedience to guidance, and sensitivity to the subtleties of divine instruction. It is a reminder that God's presence is active, His communication is continuous, and His wisdom can manifest in ways both natural and supernatural. The animal or messenger dream is an invitation to awaken your spirit to the unseen, to recognize the divine orchestration in your life, and to follow the guidance of God's messengers wherever they lead. Number 11. The vision of light or visionary places. There are dreams that illuminate, that open the spirit to dimensions beyond the ordinary. The vision of light or visionary places is one of the most profound spiritual dreams because it reveals revelation, insight, and divine direction. When God gives this type of dream, He is drawing your attention to clarity, understanding, and spiritual enlightenment. You may see radiant light, glowing pathways, or places that seem extraordinary, far beyond the natural world. These visions are not simply for awe. They are messages, confirmations, and invitations. God is showing that your life is entering a season where revelation and understanding will expand. This dream confirms that your spirit is being prepared for insight that will guide your purpose, calling, and destiny. The first message of this dream is illumination. Light represents truth, understanding, and divine knowledge. When God shows light in a dream, He is unveiling what has been hidden, clarifying confusion, and giving insight into matters that concern your spirit and your path. Visionary places often appear as temples, high places, gardens, or spaces filled with radiance, each symbolizing access to divine perspective, revelation, and wisdom. The dream emphasizes that God desires clarity in your life, and that His light is able to remove darkness, doubt, and uncertainty. It teaches that spiritual perception is available to those who seek understanding and remain attentive to His guidance. These dreams also reveal preparation for higher experiences. Visionary places are often symbolic of spiritual realms, elevated states of consciousness, or new levels of insight. God is showing that you are entering a period where your understanding of His purposes will deepen. The dream may indicate readiness for greater responsibility, spiritual growth, or divine encounters. It confirms that your life is aligned with opportunities to perceive things beyond natural comprehension. The vision of light serves as confirmation that the Spirit is opening doors of understanding and positioning you to receive insight that will influence your decisions, relationships, and spiritual journey. Symbolism plays a critical role in these dreams. Light may vary in intensity, color, or form, and each variation carries meaning. Brilliant white light often signifies purity, revelation, and divine presence. Golden or warm light may indicate blessing, favor, or spiritual empowerment. Visionary places may include structures, landscapes, or pathways that represent your spiritual direction, calling, or destiny. God uses these images to communicate in ways that the conscious mind can interpret through prayer, reflection, and revelation. The dream emphasizes that the Spirit's messages are purposeful and precise, offering clarity for both immediate guidance and long-term direction. The dream often carries encouragement. Visionary places are rarely chaotic. They are organized, serene, and full of light. This demonstrates God's order and the peace that accompanies divine understanding. When you see such dreams, it is a reminder that even when life is uncertain, God's perspective is perfect. The dream reassures that His guidance is available, that insight will come in His timing, and that you are not alone in navigating challenges. It encourages attentiveness to revelation and trust in the wisdom that accompanies the light. Another element of this dream is transformation. Light transforms perception, revealing hidden truths and creating understanding where there was previously confusion. Visionary places often serve as spaces where your spirit can perceive possibilities, direction, and divine assignments. The dream signifies that your mind and heart are being prepared to receive insight that will shape your actions, align your purpose, and expand your spiritual awareness. It teaches that revelation is not passive. It requires attentiveness, obedience, and willingness to step into what God is showing. The emotional tone of this dream is significant. Many who experience a vision of light awaken with awe, clarity, or a deep sense of peace. These emotions are not random. They are confirmation that the dream carries divine weight. The dream leaves a lasting impression on the heart, reinforcing faith, trust, and sensitivity to God's guidance. It communicates that spiritual insight is available and that those who seek it with humility and devotion will be led into understanding that surpasses natural reasoning. The vision of light